It's hard to believe it's almost convention. Emily, you'll have to show yourself a lot. My camera doesn't work too good on this, which is a good thing.
I'll try. Figure this out.
Mine, is cantankerous. It plays, then it won't play. See if it'll play a second. Oh, it tried. It's an off and oner. There he is. Well, old man's on and off. Well, Emmy, at least we got two people on here. Maybe we can tell Taylor and Jesse all about it.
Okay, I show there's about 5 people watching, so whenever you guys want to start, we'll go ahead. I think people are just kind of trickling on. This will record so we can go ahead and get it posted on the NASCO website for people to watch to go back through. But Jesse and I will kind of help you guys watch the Q&A. So if anybody has questions watching, just put them in the Q&A and we will get those answered for you guys. So I'll let Emily and Glenn take it over.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Taylor.
All righty. Well, here we are. God, it's hard to believe we're 1 week away, approximately a week and a half away from the National Convention. Looking forward to seeing everybody in Whitefish, Montana. For those who do not know me, which I know there's quite a few of you, my name is Glenn Thomas. I am a CED in South Carolina. I've been with the agency quite a while, and I've had the luck most recently of working with Miss Emily Sire, who is here tonight. The only other thing I'd say about myself, I've been a member of NASCO ever since my career started. So with that, I'm just going to pass it to Miss Emily.
Thanks, Glenn. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. As Glenn said, my name is Emily Sire. I am a CED in Northeast Nebraska, and I currently serve as your membership co-chair with Glenn. I have been a NASCO member since day one of becoming a full-time permanent PA. So we're happy to have you here, and we're going to go through kind of our brief overview of what everything that membership is working on right now. It looks like, Joel, we do have you on right now. Did you want to share anything before we jumped into our presentation?
Well, I'll try not to take up too much of your time. We had a successful week last week. We went into Washington, D.C., did some legislative visits, and we also had the opportunity to meet with Administrator Beam, Steve Peterson, who I believe is technically still the associate administrator, but he's spending most of his time in the FPAC mission area. And Kimberly Graham, who is the acting associate administrator. So I get confused on what their whole title is, but it was great talking with the three of them. Kayla and I went with them, and then Amanda, Katie, our new legislative co-chair, Kayla and I and Hunter lined up for us to run around and meet with some legislative offices. We did meet with one legislative person, Angie Craig. I should get credit for saying that because I keep wanting to say Jenny Craig, but she's from Minnesota. She is on the House Aid Committee. So we did have some good visits, and the legislative team is working on a legislative bulletin. Tomorrow, Secretary Rollins is meeting again in front of the secretary. It's front of the Aid Committee. So we will be interesting to see what questions they ask of her. But with that, looking forward to seeing everybody in a couple weeks and in Whitefish, Montana. But I won't take up any more of your time, and I will just sit back and listen unless somebody has questions.
Thank you, Joel. Appreciate you making those comments. It's always good to hear things are going on, what NASCO is doing at this time. We understand a lot of legislative items taking place right at this time, and I know we all want to continue to hear more, but I appreciate you and Kayla and Taylor and Amanda taking your time to make it to Washington and make sure that they know of NASCO's place and what we have to offer the farmers of this country. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and start the presentation. This is similar to what we're going to have at the National Convention in Whitefish. Again, want to mention, looking forward to seeing you there. If you're not coming, hopefully we can give you a little idea, a little taste of what will be going on there. So as we start through this, just as we said, we've introduced ourselves. Again, my name is Glenn Thomas. I'm South Carolina. Of course, I put Emily up top, not just alphabetical. She is the top of the cream of the crop. So glad to have her on here. And we've been co-chairs together for a few years now, and always been a bright spot. As we go through each of your areas, the Midwest area, if you're wanting to be sure who your area membership chair is, Miss Stephanie Knutson of Wisconsin is representing you there. Miss Stephanie's just stepped in recently, and if she has not reached out to you, I hope you'll reach out to her. So welcome aboard, Miss Stephanie. In the Northeast area of New York, Miss Jennifer Doty represents you there as the area membership chair. Miss Doty has done a really good job, and she just got a new helper in Miss Sydney Cook of Maryland. Sydney's a new member who met with us during the work group meeting here recently, and just got her encouraged to join, and she's on board with us now. From the Northwest area, if you want to know who your area chair is, Miss Jenny Lee of Montana. Hey, Montana, where we're going to be in the National Convention. Miss Jenny's been serving for a good period of time, and she now has an assistant co-worker, Miss Paige Anderson of North Dakota, who we also met at the recent work group meeting. In the Southeast area, we have Miss Maria Petrella of Georgia. Glad to have Miss Maria. When you see a name by itself, we're always looking for good persons to step up and assist in these items. Don't feel like you have to pay dues or, as far as time. We'd love to hear if you're interested in being active and involved. Moving on to the Southwest area, Miss Ashley Pipkin of New Mexico. Miss Ashley has been very active since joining the membership team this past year, and we're looking forward to Miss Ashley and what she has offered, and during the work group meetings, etc. We had a great meeting, and looking forward to working with Ashley. So that is your membership chair group. That is the committee. Any of us will be willing to answer questions for you, no matter which area we're in, or if Emily and I, we're sitting here waiting to hear. So the topics to be discussed, where we were, where we are, and where we're going. Membership chairperson and treasurer teamwork. That is, of course, talking about the state membership chair and treasurer. Membership due submission and calculation, what makes the NASCO machine go. The NASCO app and updating info. Available membership tools on the website. Recognizing members. recruiting and maintaining membership, as well as examples of tools used by states in creating and, in accruing members. So that is going to be the topics. And here we go, where we were, where we are, and where we're going. So when we look at where we were, this is prior to COVID, which a lot of times we've seen that, you know, our membership percentages were high. They were at 81% for the nation at that time. You can see your local area. If we go by alphabet, Midwest area was 83% on hold. Northeast area was 72%. Southeast area was 83%. Southwest area at 78%, and Northwest area at 79%. If we fast forward almost 6 years and we start looking at our areas, we'll see the Midwest in 19 it was 83%. At this point in time, we're 68% Midwest area. This can be attributed to COVID. It could be contributed to change in members. We had a lot of persons retire. As you see in the Northwest area, we were at 72%. We're now at 62%. In the Northwest area, we were in 19 at 79%. We're now at 70%. And in the Southeast area, look at there, go Southeast area, we're at the same 83%. But a lot of work has gone into these numbers. Every area has recently improved. On the Southwest area, we were at 78%, and now we're at 65%. So that's then and now. And so we got a lot of work to do. We got opportunities. Again, we mentioned in 19 as the NASCO machine, we were 81%. And at this point in time, currently, with all states working together, we're at 72%. We had dropped to 70, but right now we stand at 72%. So we did reach a goal, but a goal is set to be reached and moved to be higher. So when we start looking at our goals, every state needs to set their own and work with their executives on attaining these goals. So as we move through this, we start looking at where we were, where we are. Well, we were at 81. We're now at 72. So where are we going? And you can do that for your own state. We encourage you to do that. Well, I do believe the membership goal for 2026 is at least 75%. And that's just the goal. We can always exceed that as we do with our day-to-day FSA work. So as we walk through this together, we got to encourage one another. And we're going to have to put boots on the ground. Sometimes we have to pick up a phone, tell your story. So as we move forward, excuse me, I want to talk first about the relationship of the state membership chair and the state treasurer. This is a very big team. There's a lot of work that goes on between these two, because this is what makes the NASCO machine move, is membership. State membership, if you're interested in being a part of the state association and you're wondering if I want to be a part of that, their requirements are to provide leadership to not just promote, but to grow your membership in your state association. You also must work closely with your district chairs. Each state has district chairs and their state leadership to promote the state association and to grow that membership. Prepare and maintain a welcome package for new co-workers and non-members to be sent out. Those you'll be seeing examples of those as we walk through this presentation. We need to help members gain access to the NASCO app, because as we know, all the NASCO news and update are sent to members through the app first. So we need to get everybody signed up, especially our members. You can do an app on your phone, or you can just basically do it on your laptop if you prefer. The state membership chair and treasurer also communicate with the state treasurer to maintain state membership information and provide accurate numbers for dues transmittal. We need to share members' information with NASCO. So as you update your membership numbers and your membership names and addresses and email, you need to share that with your area chair so that we can keep a good NASCO database. Monitor and review biweekly FSC and or the state office. Thing that we are getting now, and if you're not getting it, you need to reach out to us, and we'll be glad to help you and assistance to receive those. And to track and request membership awards, very important responsibility of the state membership chair, and we will look at the awards later in the presentation. Our next slide as we walk through the presentation is review membership calculation guidelines. Now, this was modified some time ago, and we really need to look at these and to how we are calculating the dues that are paid to NASCO. Permanent appointment, we get asked this a lot, are county office employees or those co-workers whose work performance evaluation rating or reviewing official is either the county committee or the DD. Now that includes county office and GS co-workers. That also includes, well, I'm still getting used to saying CEDTs, but CEDTs and FLOTs are also eligible. State associations that allow GS co-workers, that is county office, to be full members will count all county office members and eligible GS full members in their total count of membership. If you want to know what your state, if they allow GS co-workers to be full members, you need to look at your constitution and bylaws and or talk to the officers of your association. A membership percentage will be calculated by dividing this total by the total number of CO co-workers only in the state minus any county office co-workers who perform 100% farm loan work. And this percentage will be capped at 100%. If a county office co-worker is doing 100% GS work and is a member, then they will be counted in the membership as well as total co-workers. NASCO will provide data obtained from Washington, D.C. as available, but it is up to each state association to verify accuracy. So those listings have been provided to states over the years. We're still working to attain one since our last one was provided in June of 24, and we hope to have those soon. States that allow GS co-workers to be members but only charge them associate member dues, those states will only count them as associate members. They will not count in their membership or co-worker total. And temporary co-workers, of course, are not counted in the membership percentage. So that should give you, here's a calculation example. A total co-worker state has 15. Total GS co-workers in the state are 8. You have 7 NASCO members. You have 2 GS full members. So the small calculation would be total full members is 9. And the calculation percentage would be total CO co-workers 15. You'd have 9 divided by 15 times 100, and that's 60%. And this was a modification a couple of years ago. So be sure when you're calculating the dues transmittals and the number of co-workers or members in your association, this is the new calculation. Now, as we move on, when are the NASCO dues due? Now, this is when Miss Jessie pipes in, and she's watching this very closely for us, and our area execs are doing the same. Quarterly dues, the deadlines are October 10th, January 10th, April 10th, and the final is June 30. I'm going to take a break right here. Are there any questions thus far? All right, hearing none, I'm going to pass it on to Miss Emily Sire.
All right, thanks, Glenn. I'm just going to go over a brief overview of a couple other items that we had on our agenda for today. Glenn did mention the NASCO app where all of our communication is being housed. We just opened up the app a few years ago, so it's still a work in progress, and we're working on getting everyone signed up and the access that they need. Oftentimes you will hear us refer to it as the NASCO app, but you do not have to download an app on your phone if you do not want to. You can just go to the website, www.nasco.org, and up in the top right-hand corner, there's a login button. If you click in that login button, you can enter your username and password, and it will take you to the same information that's going to be seen on the app. So I know Sometimes we just refer to it as the app because that's the general platform for using it quickly on your phone, but you can also log in and use it as a website, which is a nice option if you prefer not to have an app on your phone, or also sometimes if there's just a legislative update and I want to look at it on a bigger screen, I will just log in right from the computer desktop with your internet browser. So again, if you hear us reference the app, know that you can also access it a few different ways. And if you are having trouble accessing anything, please reach out to us and we can try and help troubleshoot and get everyone the access that they need. So again, you can access it from the website, or if you have a iPhone or Android device, there are both platforms available. And sometimes it's different depending on if you're an Android user, an iPhone user. So we have a good group of tech gurus that can kind of figure it out and look at what we're doing. So if you don't have access, please let us know and we'll work to get everyone the access they need for the app. Publicity did put together some really nice visuals that are available on the app. So as you're recruiting new members, or if you're trying to get already members signed up for the app, these are some good tools that you can use to show them. So again, just downloading the app, it's, scan the QR code, it'll take you right to the App Store and you can download it on your device. So a good little useful tool visual there if you are working to get everyone signed up. And then there are these activation instructions, which can also be found on the app, or excuse me, on our website. And we will post this PowerPoint onto the website as well. So there's direct links to all the information on here as well. But I really encourage everyone to go to the NASCO website and just kind of play around and look at all the different committees on there, because there is a lot of really useful information that can be found on there. And this is just kind of what we put together when we were first developing the app. We data loaded all of the personal email addresses that we had on file into the app. And so this was our first big push of getting everyone a registered account. And what I mean by a registered account is you have actually set up a password so that you can log into your account, because if you have not set up a password, you're not guaranteed to get all of the information that's posted. So it's very important that we get all of our members registered accounts on the app. This is just a little brief overview. So what do you do when you have a new member, or what do our membership chairs need to be able to grant access to members? So each state membership chair should be in communication with the area membership chairs. And again, Glenn went over that list from the beginning of our presentation of who your area chairs are. But for new members or existing members, if they are having issues and they don't have access, the information that we will for sure need to be able to get them loaded in the database is their first and last name, which state association they belong to, their personal email address, because we cannot use .gov email addresses for this platform, and their membership type. So if they're a full regular member of their state, if they're an associate member, or if they are an honorary life member. So by providing that bit of information, we can at least get them entered into the system and get them access, and then get them a link so that they can set up their password. So this is just a good way. We've encouraged our area chairs to meet with the state membership chairs in their states and kind of get a game plan so that we can work to get everybody added as quickly as we possibly can to this platform, and to make sure that we've got everybody registered on there. This is also just another nice visual that of tech tips that Publicity put together for us. So it just has kind of some troubleshooting ideas. Again, it's helpful with members if they're having issues to try these items before they reach out. But we've got Donna and Marcy on there as well, and also Glenn and myself and our area chairs. If you reach out to any of us, we will try and get you set up as quickly as we can. So if something's not looking right, or if it's not working, please let us know. Or if it just looks different than it used to, please let us know so that we can address it and make sure nobody else is having issues. Website and app updates. So members can, once they have their profile set up, they can update information themselves. So if they say have a change in last name, they can go log into their profile and change that information themselves. or if they have a different email address that they would like to use, or if they have another email address that they would like to add to the account. Members have access to add those items on there. But the state membership chairs do need to notify us if there are any changes within their states. So some important changes that we would need to be known are if you change from a full regular member to an associate member or an honorary lifetime member. There's different categories of membership on there, and so it's important that your state membership chairs are letting the area membership chairs know these changes so that we can update them in the database on the app. And because we want to make sure we have our app data as accurate as we can so that we have useful tools for running reports, and it's only as good as staying up to date as the data that we have on there. So if a coworker leaves the agency or retires and they're no longer a member, an associate member, or an honorary life member, then we need to know that so that we can remove their access on the app. If there's an associate member that changes to a full regular member, we need to know that so we can get them coded correctly. A coworker changes states. That's important as well because when we're running reports, we want to be accurate for those states. So if were in Iowa and now you've moved to South Dakota, you need to let our area membership chairs know so that we can update that information in there. And oftentimes they'll also have you check with your state to make sure that that 444 form has also been processed, because we've seen sometimes where if you move to a state and you don't realize that you have to cancel your old 444 and file a new one with your new one so that your dues are going to the correct state. So I'll just plug that in there. This is our membership homepage on the NASCO.org website. So if you go to the NASCO.org website and up at the top, there's a committees tab. If you click on the committees tab and then click on the membership button, that's going to take you to our membership page where you're going to find lots of useful tools and information. There is a join now NASCO button on there. So what I was talking about before is if you hit committees and just click right on membership. So if you click membership, that's going to take you to our useful tools. If you click join NASCO, that's going to take you to a platform where you choose your state and enter your contact information. So by selecting the join NASCO, you're not actually signing up as a new member because we want that all to go through the states because each state has a different process and verifying once those coworkers are becoming members. So the join NASCO button is on there, but basically it puts their name on a waiting list and notifies us so that then we can reach out to that state and say, hey, we have somebody from your state that's interested in becoming a member. Can you please reach out to them? So it is a useful tool, and we've gained members that have gone to the website to look for information from us, but we just want everyone to be aware that just by clicking that button, that's not the final step in the process. It does take working with your state association, because as soon as you're a member of your state association, you become a member of NASCO as well. The membership video is also on our membership page. And if you have not watched the membership video, I highly encourage you to go and take it's about 3 minutes long. Go ahead and take a few minutes and go in and watch the membership video. It was a few years ago. It's exciting to see a lot of familiar faces in the video, and it's just a good recruitment tool and kind of gives a brief, quick overview of what NASCO does for all of us. There is a membership flyer and brochure. The membership flyer, we update that annually. So as soon as convention's done and we have some new names to add to the listing, we will get all of that information updated. But that's also just a quick one-page flyer that can be used to give a brief overview of the many things that NASCO offers available to us as members. And then there's also a new brochure on there, and I think it's a 12-page brochure. There's just one page front and back if you print it. It's really vibrant, clean, fresh. It has each committee on there, so it really does a nice job of just kind of trying to fit everything that NASCO does for us into one spot. So please, if you need some tips and tricks and just some different information of some things to be able to pass on to new members or just those that are interested, those are some really good, useful tools that we have on there. We also have a union versus employee association fact sheet, and this was just developed last year. And this was developed because members had a request for it, as were a lot of these tools that we have on our pages. So if there's ever something that you feel would be a very useful tool, or that you're hearing, oh, I would be a member, but I want to know more about this, or just anything that you think would be useful that we can help you create, please reach out and let us know, because that's where all of these ideas came from, is just members thinking, hey, I get this question a lot, union versus associations. Can you help explain this a little bit, or give me a tool that I can use to kind of have some talking points? So again, let us know if you have ideas for stuff, and we'll try and get it to where we can make it very useful. The NASCO touch card. You may remember a few years ago, these were sent to the offices as something that you could hold in your hand, gives a brief overview of NASCO and everything that we do. And you will see that there is an updated version coming soon. So I'll just give a little tease for that. So please be on the lookout for that update that's coming. The next thing we have on our listing is don't forget to recognize members. So we do have several different membership awards and recognizations available. So we just wanted to highlight to make sure that we don't forget about any of these. Dillard's does have a membership drive contest. I'm not going to go into the nuts and bolts of how everything's calculated. It's all there, but each year they do have an annual membership drive contest, and the state with the biggest increase is recognized at convention. We do have the NASCO Honorary Life membership, and all of these can be found from those links on our page. Just a real quick submittal of a survey, and it sends the information to us. If they were an NASCO member for their entire career, they transition to an honorary lifetime member. And then there's also some waiver requirements too. If you have someone within your state that doesn't meet the initial requirements to be an honorary life membership, but the state feels that they would qualify with a waiver, there's also that option, and then it's sent to the executive committee to review. So please remember to do those. We do have our cumulative year awards for both counties and individuals. So those are very important to recognize our counties and our individuals that have been members for several years. And we do every once in a while have a very big milestone, and it's really encouraging to be able to see those members and hear their stories and just know why they became a member in the first place. So it's very important that we continue to recognize these. With counties, it is a cumulative award. So I just want to point that out. Individuals, it is a continuous consecutive years it has to be, but for the counties, it's a cumulative, because we just changed that a few years ago. So if there was a year that you had one coworker that wasn't a member, and they are no longer there for some reason, or they signed up to become a member and now you're 100% membership, you can start counting those years again. So we just wanted to point that out on there about the county and individual awards. And then we also have the NASCO Memorial presentation. And so this is to honor our members who have passed. And so at the convention, we have a beautiful PowerPoint presentation that Morgan Carlson from Nebraska has put together for us this year. The doors will be locked and no one can go in and out, and we just take a brief moment to pause and reflect and remember those members who are no longer with us. So please take time to submit those awards for everyone. Next item we have is recruiting and maintaining membership. And the real reasons these topics came up was Glenn mentioned in March, we had a membership work group meeting where we brought in our area chairs, and then we brought in some new coworkers who had just signed up as members or hadn't been members for, I think it was less than 5 years. And so we all met in person, had some really, really good topics and discussions. And that's where a lot of this information here kind of stemmed from. So we just wanted to point out the available communication tools that you have available to you. One of the main topics that was discussed while we were in Minneapolis was that communication is the most important thing. Communicating with members, making sure they know what's going on, making sure that if they want to be involved, we're providing opportunities for them to be involved, but mainly just so that they know what NASCO is doing for them. So we do just have a few tools listed here. You know, we have the NASCO website. Some states do also have their own state website, so that's just an important tool that you can use. Email, you know, reaching out, personal calls and text. Social media is becoming more and more. We do have Microsoft Teams available that we can have virtual meetings. Glenn and I both do have a Teams account where we can set up meetings for you with a dial-in phone number if that's something you need. So please don't hesitate to reach out. And then good old face-to-face communication, you know, telling your NASCO story, making those connections with your coworkers. One of the things we also talked about was communicating with all, you know, recruiting non-members. So reaching out to new coworkers, but also reaching out to existing coworkers who maybe didn't get reached out to when they first started, or maybe, you know, at first they didn't really know what NASCO was about and had decided they didn't want to be a member. But if you reach out again, you'd be surprised how many times they might change their mind. So just remembering to reach out to just not only, you know, the new, but also existing coworkers. We have many different options for jump teams. So if that's something you think your state would need, please work with your execs and we can get a game plan together. Glenn mentioned it before, but it does take all of us. It's not just Glenn and I. It takes, you know, people in those county offices to be able to have that connection and know what's going on. And really that's where it all stems from, is from your state associations and building, you know, a strong state foundation. And then we also talked about maintaining, you know, keeping our current members informed on what's going on, getting them involved, having a succession plan. Glenn mentioned, you know, you'll see on some of our area chairs have helpers. Those are individuals that have become involved and are learning, you know, more and more about NASCO every call that they're on. So it's just very important to keep that open communication, making sure that those current members, if they have concerns, they're being heard, and just making sure that our voice is loud and clear, because we all know that the stronger our membership, the stronger our voice is. These are just a few examples of membership packets, just some snippets of screenshots of different things that different states have done. We have a whole list of different things. So if your state is ever in need of ideas or wants to see what other states have done, please reach out to us and we're happy to share. You know, each state kind of figures out what works for them and what works for their members. And these are just some examples. You know, this state has their dues chart, the application, if they're paying with a check information, and then just instructions for completing a 444. These were some other examples. They had a welcome letter from their president, just informational attachments, which could be those tools that we have available on the website. And then again, the state also had an application for their membership. So ultimately, that's what we're all here to do together, is grow NASCO. You know, it takes all of us. It takes a lot of effort to make sure that everyone knows what's going on, make sure that they know that NASCO's here. And ultimately, we need to keep engaging and keep growing our membership so that we have a successful organization. Glenn, I don't know if you had any other items you wanted to pop on.
No, I think we pretty much covered everything. As I said, this is available and will be made available on the website. All these tools are part of the NASCO library of opportunities if you're looking to grow your state, grow your district even. It starts at the smallest. It starts in an office, works to the district, right on up to state and national. It takes everybody working together to get this done. As you can see in the picture, I've always liked these because it's hand in hand, trying to work together to keep rolling, and that is your representation. As you said earlier, we're not a union, we're an association. If you don't have your association talking for you, you might find out that things could be drastically different. As Joel said earlier, FSA still has a good reputation out there, especially in front of Congress. That's a big topic right now with the reorganization being talking about, etc. But it all starts with the nut and bolts, and that's NASCO membership. We can legislate all day, but if we don't have our membership and we don't have our opportunity to speak, then you will not be heard. As I've heard many say before, if you're don't have a seat at the table, you're probably on the menu. So I'm not going to continue talking on that. So Emily, if you did very well on that. I think we've covered all the topics, and we don't want to hold everyone up from their afternoon. We do want to thank people who have participated in this, and again, I'm looking forward to seeing everyone in Montana.
Yes, thank you, everyone. And like you said, if you have any questions, please don't ever hesitate to reach out to us, reach out to your execs, reach out to your area membership chairs, and let's grow NASCO together.
And I would be remiss if I didn't recognize our officers on here. It's good to have our secretary, Ms. Taylor Stuckey, our treasurer, Ms. Jessie Callgrove, our vice president, Ms. Kayla Matson, and of course, El Presidente, Mr. Joel Foster. If anyone has any questions, we'll entertain those for a moment. Not hearing any. Mr. Joel, do you have anything else you'd like to share? Any of the officers or area chairs?
No, great job, Glenn and Emily, as always. Like you said, the membership, without the membership, we do not get heard. So if our membership drops below 70%, is anybody really going to care if we exist? I don't know. We will, the ones that are members, but them that are listening, with each membership that drops, our voice becomes less significant. So I want to thank you for all your hard work. I didn't see any questions in the chat, so yeah, and I want to thank the ones that did jump on, and hopefully people can take the opportunity to listen to the recording and come to Montana.
We appreciate that, Joel, and thank y'all for all the hard work y'all are doing. If you've ever been a part of a NASCO convention and you get to be around, you become a big family. But it all starts at the county level. And we're looking forward to seeing you in Montana. I hope if you talk to your friends, when they come back, if you're not going, these opportunities, they're having town halls for each committee. And I would be more than happy to answer any questions. And Emily, I think I'm done.
All right. Well, again, I don't see any questions in the chat, but feel free to reach out to us after if you think of anything. That's what we're here for, and we're happy to help. And again, appreciate everyone jumping on to join us tonight. And I guess we will let you have your evening back then. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.